Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tiffany Benson, one part of Team Benson, and today I have you guys in my kitchen because we are making lacto-fermented things. And we're going to talk about why you should start making lacto-fermented things because it's Tummy Tuesday. So if you guys are new here, I would like to tell you, make sure you go ahead and subscribe because we have our 10K giveaway that we are building up towards. And once we hit 10K, we will be giving away a $50 gift card, a seed organizer, and then a Mighty Crop from our sponsor, Mighty Crop. So make sure you subscribe and then also head over to IG and follow Mighty Crop. And then every time you comment, that gives you an entry into our raffle. So today we are talking about fermented things because fermented things have a huge importance in the diet that I think a lot of people are missing. So when a lot of people are having a lot of stomach issues, it's because they're not eating enough fermented food. And how you get fermented food, one quick easy way is make pickled things like dill pickles. Or you can make fermented jalapenos. Or you can make fermented tomato, basil, and garlic, which goes amazing on like bruschetta. Just throwing that out there. And all you're doing is you're doing a lacto-fermentation by just using a brine of salt and water and letting it bubble and develop gas. And that creates a probiotic inside the jar and within the food that when you eat it, it puts more good bacteria into your gut, which then helps you with all different types of processing food and just making sure your overall health and gut health is intact. So I'm going to show you what the pickles look like because these ones are about 5 days in on the pickles. This one is actually, I want to say 8 months old, and these are gorgeous. If you've never had fermented tomatoes, they're amazing. And once you guys put your ferments in the refrigerator, they last for a really long time. So once they're done fermenting, like their fermenting process where they're at the taste that you want them to be at, then you want to put a lid on them and throw them in the refrigerator. And as long as everything stays below the water line, then it's gonna stay nice and fresh and you'll be able to use it for a really long time. All right, guys, so we are gonna be talking ferments today. Now I'm gonna move some of this out of the way, and I just want to show you guys how some of the ferments are working. Now what's going to happen, let me move a lot of this out of the way. So these are only about 5 days old, so they're not gonna taste like pickles yet, probably. I can try one and see. But what's happening is that all of the gas bubbles, which bring that closer, you guys can see gas bubbles. All of that gas is releasing in this brine, which is what's creating the lacto-ferment. Basically, that's just the bacteria, the good bacteria, kind of releasing its gas. So, if you don't have like a little, oh, see, that just put liquid all over my thing. So if you don't have one of these, which is a fermenting top, then you would need to go through and burp this, which is basically just release all of those gases. And you want to make sure that everything is staying submerged underwater. So even with having one of these, I do check it every now and then just to make sure. I do also suggest, as you guys can see, a liquid came out already because the vegetables themselves are going to release a lot of liquid. So I do suggest putting this inside something when you're putting it into your counter, because you're going, or your countertop. Sorry, not your countertop, your pantry. I'm pointing to my pantry like you guys can see it because it could potentially leak. We're going to start from the beginning, and we are going to ferment some red onions that I got from the farm, but I do kind of want to just go over kind of what you guys want to be looking for when you are fermenting your veggies. Now, if everything goes right, when you open this, there won't be any type of discoloration, no food will have gone above the water line, no oxygen would have gotten in, and everything would have been fine. Now, if you get like kind of like a little like cloudiness or anything like that, that's fine. That's just yeast kind of developing. Even if you get like little white things in there, that's just yeast. Don't worry about it. Don't freak out. If it has some type of discoloration or something like that, that's when you want to be worried. Now also inside of here, I have a puck. And this is just basically to hold everything down underneath the water line. I'm going to get one of the pickles out of here so that we can try it and see how it's doing. Now, as long as everything stays below that water line, so I'm going to push that back in there, then there will be no mold or anything like that that forms. We're going to try it. Oh my God. It is so close to being the most amazing pickle in the world. Super, super close. The nice part too about this, guys, is that if you remember that dill that I made, or that I grew and I froze, that's what I used to make these pickles. So we still have our own homegrown dill that we could use to make the pickles, and they turned out amazing. Now, back to pickle thinking though that I got distracted. So I'm just going to put these back together and put the puck back in there. Make sure all the food's below the water line. I'm just going to put the fermenting top on here, and then I'm just going to put a ring back on here. And then this is going to go back into the cabinet probably for like another 2 days. I'm going to taste it in another 2 days and see if it's exactly like a pickle. And then we will put it in the fridge. You just kind of want to taste it and see how it goes. Normally they take anywhere between 7 to 10 days, I find, to get to the point to where I want them to be. Now, if you guys want me to do a video on how I make pickles, then let me know, and I will do that for you. I do think I have one on the tomatoes and basil. This one is even easier because you're just taking cherry tomatoes or aroma tomatoes, whatever you want, kind of tomatoes you want to take, basil and garlic, and just throwing it in there and letting it ferment. And then this one is just chopped up jalapenos. So now that we've gone over kind of what the ferments are going to look like and different things that you can do, let's actually make a ferment. So I do want to mention that this is a lacto-ferment, so it's not going to be something that's going to be like shelf stable. You want to put it in your refrigerator or cold storage. If you want something that's shelf stable, then you're going to want to do a different brine with vinegar and then water bath can it or pressure can it, whichever one your recipe suggests. So I do use 2 different preserving books whenever I'm preserving anything. One is the ball preserving book. And sorry it's backwards, guys. I know, I'm still filming on my camera, on my phone. Not there yet to have a big camera. And then I also use this one by Masontops as well. And then I use a puck so that this holds it down. This is by Masontops. And then I also have a little fermenting lid. And then I just use a regular ball jar. Now, if people in your family don't like pickles, 90% of the time they will like fermented onions, because fermented onions are amazing. And fermented red onions are not only amazing, they're also fancy. So there's that. So I am going to cut off the ends, and I'm going to save as much onion as possible. I'm also going to save all of the tops and the onion skins, because I am going to use that in my bone broth that I will be making later this week. So all you have to do is just save all those and then put them in the freezer, and then that way when you make your bone broth, you don't actually have to use an onion that you can eat. You can just use the leftover pieces that you would just be throwing away or putting in compost anyway. So when I cut it, I'm just going to cut it in half here, and then I am going to chop this into very thin slices. Now you can chop it, you can dice it, you can do whatever you want to do with it, but I like it in thin slices. Now we could use it as tops for like tacos, or if you have like a nice like beef roast or even pork roast, anything like that, it goes really, really well. But I do like nice thin slices. Now, like I said, this brine is only gonna be made with salt and water, and we will go or we'll talk about how much salt and water you want to use once I get all of these chopped up. So I'm gonna get this one chopped up and this one chopped up and then put into the jar. Now guys, I want to come over here and show you guys this real quick. This is my new Berkey. I'm so excited about it. When you're doing any type of ferment, you want to use filtered water. You don't want to use regular tap water because it contains chlorine. So if you have a Berkey, then you can use your Berkey water. If not, you want to let your tap water sit out overnight or just buy bottled water. So let's get back to that ferment. All right. So now that you have your filtered water, I have about 1.5 cups of filtered water, and I'm gonna pour it into another mason jar because this is gonna make life so much easier. Then for every cup of water, you're gonna wanna add a tablespoon of salt. Now you're gonna wanna use a canning salt, a sea salt, or a kosher salt. Don't use a table salt because they have iodine in them, so that will kill it won't ferment your food. So I'm gonna have a 1.5 tablespoons since I have 1.5 cups of water. And then all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this. I am going to grab a canning ring since I don't have one. Now I have the canning ring. And I'm just gonna put it on here, and then I'm just gonna shake it because you want this all dissolved. You want all the salt dissolved, and this is the easiest way to get it all dissolved instead of sitting there and trying to whisk it. Now, once it's all dissolved, perfect, then I'm just gonna take that and I'm going to pour it over my onions. And look at there, guys. I need some more brine. I knew I could have fit some more onions in there. Actually, I think I'm gonna cut up another onion and put it in here. Okay, onion number 2 is added. Then I'm just gonna take this puck and I am going to smush it all the way down because I wanna make sure everything is nice and submerged underneath the water. Now this is, like I said, it's going to release some gases, so this might bubble as you go on. One thing I forgot to do, guys, I sat down and thought I was going to make an amazing video, and I keep messing up on this one, but you know what, today is real life. But you want to go through with your degasser or just your butter knife and get all the air bubbles out of it. And then once you do that, then you're gonna want to push it all the way down. And then all you're gonna do is stick your lid on top and tighten it down. And then you are done, and this is gonna go into your cabinet for 7 to 8 days. You can taste it, see how you like it, and then once it's done, then you're gonna throw it into the refrigerator, and then it'll be amazing for quite a long time. And you can cook with it or just keep it in its natural state with all of its amazing probiotics. So this video was a little over the place, guys, but we got there. We got our fermented onions ready to go, and they're gonna go in the cabinet with the pickles. But until next time, grow yourselves a garden because even a small space can provide you with tons of food. Bye, guys.